Let me start this video by placing things into context before I place them into context in a contradiction that will reconcile itself shortly after I put you on the same page as I am, so to speak, as we cut through the BS by first considering that the Milky Way and other spiral galaxies are mere images of technology, including any of these technologies you see here, including some kind of synchrotrons, computer drives, biodisk drives, and so forth that I am presenting in no particular order. Including Archimedean and log periodic spiral broadband antennas, whose respective structure and dynamics are the same as the structure and dynamics of spiral galaxies like our Milky Way. Especially when we consider that the stars, planets, and moons, and even ourselves, are arranged inside the rings of the Milky Way, just like the radio elements arranged inside certain types of spiral antennas. As we bear in mind that galaxies produce magnetism, electricity, and radio waves that saturate our Milky Way galaxy, with special help from its billions of suns, which in part appear to be playing the roles as plasma antennas / routers of some kind, plus other roles, I suspect, as small parts of what appears to be an optical ring network on chip device of some kind, with our Milky Way galaxy being the only galaxy I will use as an example in this video. Network on chips are essentially multi-processing and communications networks built into a single chip, which are more or less mere images of our Milky Way galaxy, especially when we bear in mind that the ring structure of the Milky Way is rotating at thousands of miles a second, with the stars, planets, and other matter also circulating at thousands of miles per second through the ring structure of our Milky Way, with its spiral rings appearing to serve as some kind of optical / photonic waveguide, or wave guides, in which the locations of the black holes, brown holes, wormholes, and the suns and planets and moons of our Milky Way galaxy, being respectively positioned inside the rings of our Milky Way in just the right place relative to the positions of the data processor cores and routers and links and gateway interfaces and all the rest that I hope you can see if you are using a smaller screen. What is especially significant here is that my assertion that the living planets and moons, as well as the stars and black holes, are some kind of antennas and computer cores and so forth, is that this assertion is supported by the fact that black holes are indeed supposedly computers of some kind, in addition to being entangled, according to Scientific American magazine, in addition to being distributed throughout our Milky Way and other spiral galaxies, just like the components on a network on chip. Black holes also emit radio waves, just like the suns and living planets and moons. And I don't know, and I don't see why the black holes and the rest of the stars and planets and so forth couldn't be chaotically distributed throughout the Milky Way galaxy like central processing and graphics processing units, antennas, signal and data routers, and so forth, as just another set of components in the network-on-chip device we call our Milky Way galaxy. These network-on-chip devices use a combination of electrical and photonic / optical and radio signals to transfer information on chip and beyond. Everything is in just the right place. Here are some more examples of network-on-chip devices that loosely resemble the structure and dynamics of our corner of our Milky Way galaxy, as we note that some applications for these devices include real-time computation and video and audio playback, plus the ability to support multiple concurrent users sharing systems in a cloud network infrastructure. Other applications include video gaming and particle swarm and ant colony optimization, genetic algorithm, plus other applications. Network on chips, in other words, have to do with the tracking and analysis of ultra-complex interrelationships and exchanges among and between large numbers of particulates and organisms, plus the tracking and analysis of genetic inheritances, mutations, selections, and crossovers in a population of genes and organisms over a period of many generations. Network on chips in part help scientists form heuristic computer models of the complex behavior of organisms and other matter, including complex sociological and genetic interactions over extended periods of time in large populations. With the Milky Way ring structure in just the right place to serve as the equivalent of the optical / photonic waveguides, as just noted, which would probably be picking up and distributing information on the organisms throughout the Milky Way for analysis by the engineers of the universe, wherever they might be hiding. So let us move along to the next section as we move from concept to concept without a bunch of fluffy transitions in between, as we compare our Milky Way and other spiral galaxies with what are called lab-on-chip devices. Lab-on-chips are used by doctors and scientists as biological and chemical sensors, which include pathogen detection and the study and manipulation of organisms and cells at the molecular level, including DNA, molecules, and other particulates, in what are a few applications for lab-on-chips. I would like to note that I have yet to find a network-on-chip device merged with a lab-on-chip device, although I am sure that one day they will be invented if they haven't been already. As we compare the organization of the stars and planets in our corner of our Milky Way to what are called system-on-chips. System-on-chip devices are a variation of network-on-chip devices in which multiple computing and communications components are arranged and integrated onto a singular chip, with applications in everything from mobile computing to multimedia communications, data transmission, optical sensors, plus many other applications. And with us moving up to the intergalactic level, and with you being aware of this transition, I hope, as we note how the galaxies of our local group are distributed like the specimens or analytes in these examples of lab-on-chip devices, in addition to being distributed like the components in what is called a system-on-chip device, which we previously discussed. Network-on-chip and system-on-chips overlap into each other and into what are called neuromorphic chips. Neuromorphic chips are also what are called brain chips, which are computer chips that are modeled after the human brain. And with our universe being a mirror image of the human brain, if you get on the internet and start looking, with the so-called black hole at the beginning of time appearing to be serving as the brainstem or subthalamic nucleus / computer control center of some kind. With the galaxies and the rest of the stars forming around the center of the universe as it expands, just like brain cell neurons and synapses have formed around the brainstem or subthalamic nucleus. With the numbers of galaxies, stars, and planets more or less corresponding to the numbers of neurons and synapses in the human brain. All of which are also appearing to be playing the roles as computer and other technologies that have evolved into the fabric of the universe, largely in the cores of the galaxies, the suns, the living planets, and moons. The cores of the galaxies, the planets, the suns, and the moons might in part be computer cores of some kind. And we can see how the language of astrophysics and technology are the same, with all their talk about cores, as we bear in mind that solar systems like our own, plus galaxies like our Milky Way galaxy, including our so-called local group of galaxies, are each organized like multi-core and network-on-chip platforms, with the cores of the previously mentioned heavenly bodies probably playing technological roles in some kind of multi-core central processing and graphics processing system that spans the universe. And with me getting ready to wrap up this video, I am going to let you come to your own conclusions about the significance of the concept of our entangled universe, entangled neurons, and entangled black holes, as you compare them with artificial neurons, biological neurons, artificial synapses, biological synapses, and network-on-chip devices. With me using the Milky Way and Andromeda as the primary examples, with you also bearing in mind that both the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies, plus other galaxies, harbor black holes at their cores that are probably entangled with each other via wormholes or tunnels or something to that effect, just like neurons are entangled via axons and dendrites. Just like network-on-chip devices are entangled with electrical wires, are connected with electrical wires and optical fibers, including what are called artificial photonic synapses and neurons for neuromorphic computing, like we just discussed. Where these comparisons get even more significant is that binary galaxies like Andromeda and our Milky Way are connected with each other, just like these laboratory on chips. Key words, laboratory on chips, like we just discussed. They also resemble the spiral structures of spiral galaxies, with the galaxies appearing to be fusions of technologies that are organized like human brain cells, and this would include antenna technology as well, like these examples of binary or dual antennas of some kind, and with me letting you come to your own conclusions about the significance of the fact that the galaxies and the rest of the stars are antennas, including the Earth, all of which produce radio signals like radio units that are also the antenna. These stars are antennas. Humans are antennas. All life forms are antennas. And with me also letting you come to your own conclusion about the fact that the antenna component of the Earth operates at a frequency of 7.83 hertz, whereas 7-band two-way radio units also operate in the 7-band frequency, but in the more powerful megahertz range. With me also letting you come to your own conclusions about the fact that humans produce 7 so-called aura and chakra colors. Now, I'm not going to go into what auras and chakras are, but they appear to be optical antennas of some kind. As you also bear in mind that scientists have recently invented what are called 7-band CCD optical color sensors, which pick up all 7 primary colors in the color spectrum. So we have 7 colors and classes of stars. We have 7 aura and chakra colors, and we have a 7-band CCD chip. Now, CCD chips include DSLR and CMOS chips as well, I believe. Which are substitutes for old-fashioned camera film, by the way, as you bear in mind that the planets are electromagnetically charged like and colored like CCD, CMOS, and DSLR camera chips and lenses, as we bear in mind that the planets, especially the gas giant outer planets, appear to be multispectral imaging sensor chips and lenses of some kind. Just like these insect eyes, we are now comparing the gas giant planets to, as we bear in mind that insect eyes are compound eyes that can see distant objects and colors and heat that humans can't see. And we must also bear in mind that the colors of insect eyes and multispectral camera chips and lenses have everything to do with their respective capabilities and applications, including virtual reality gaming and 3D viewing. I am going to conclude this video by saying that if the human race is being observed and controlled by extraterrestrials and or multidimensional entities of some kind, then the technologies we have compared the bits and pieces of the universe with are how this observation and control is facilitated. And although if the gas giant outer planets are indeed some kind of image sensors or cameras of some kind, they would be too far away to pick up the tiny photonic signals emitted by the human aura and chakras, but they could be picking up the powerful signals emitted by the suns and galaxies, which are themselves antennas with our solar system in part serving as some kind of transceiver and relay system, and with the sun being a router of some kind, a plasma antenna router. The same could be said for the rest of the suns in the universe, for that matter. I think solar systems like our own might also, in part, be equal opportunity observation and manipulation platforms, whereby planets that evolve life automatically become targets of this platform, with each and every planet, like the Earth, being set up to monitor and manipulate the life forms that evolve on these planets. With planets like our Earth being mere images of these technologies you see here. And with us being part of this technology. And if you like this video, give it the thumbs up, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video.